Hello God's family, how are you doing? My name is Revived Winner and I'm back with the Nyota series, and I'm loving the feedback you're giving me on Nyota series because I've been waiting to do this testimony. I've really been waiting to put this word out because, as I said, it's not about me. It's not about the person who was involved. It is about God and for the kingdom of God. I said, even if one soul changes, even if one soul today turns around to Jesus, even if one soul is saved from a stolen star or a star that has been kufunikwa inaitwaje hiyo, I will thank the Lord. Now, I'm back with this story, and I had left off at where I told you you're usually drawn to these people, even if they're not your type. And let me tell you, you usually look at that person and you know for sure this is not my type, but I don't know why I'm drawn. I'm drawn to them. Praise be to God. I'm giving this testimony because as I look around and see young ladies and young men running after money, after relationships because of money, I just pity them. I'm just like, do you know how much the devil has to spend on your destinies? A lot. Actually, I think if he has a PR department, a marketing department, they are doing that against your destiny. So the people who are running after relationships because of things, you look at a man, you think he's handsome, he's masculine, boom, you're married to him. You look at a lady, you think she's so beautiful and curvy, you're married to her. You don't know her. You've just met her in the urban area. You've just seen her where she lives, where she works, where he works or he lives, and you think you know them. You do not know who they worship. You do not know where they sleep at night. You do not know the shrines they visit. And that was my case. And I told you mine was through a man. So I meet this man. This guy is not my type. I told you guys. So I'm looking at him like, why am I drawn to this? Looking at he's nowhere. He's nowhere near my type. But there's this strong thing that keeps drawing me to him day and night. And let me warn you, when the devil is about to do you monkey business, or when he's about to destroy you, he will separate you from your loved ones. Your loved ones is from friends who can tell you, hey, there's something wrong with you. Parents or relatives who can tell you, we need to pray about your life. There's something going completely wrong with you. The devil makes sure you shut them out. You stop picking their calls. I stopped picking even my mama's call, my dad's, my brother's, nobody. My friends, I shut them out. Because when this guy came into the picture, nikazubaishwa, and because now I was unsober, let me say, I was unsober, I just started following him. He became my everything. He became my world. He became all that I had and all that I needed. Okay? Everything started and ended with him. And that is what soul domination does. To be soul dominated is your soul pretty much being dominated. Like you're no longer in control of yourself. That was me. I was living that life. So when I meet this guy, I met him through someone whom I knew. So the meeting looked pretty much normal. Kumbe this guy had already, how do I say, Googled me in the spirit. And of course, he knew what he's coming to get. He was not, at the way you say, guys, he's here because of sex. Sex was the least thing on his mind, but sex was a tool for transaction. Sexually transacted things in the spirit work very fast. Sexually transacted things. There are many things that you can transact spiritually with. Gifts, food, kula food na mtu, or someone gives you food and you eat and suddenly you're in a covenant. Now, sex is the fastest way to transact, and the devil knows that. And the devil knows that once your temple is interfered with, that temple of God, once it is interfered with, then the devil can do pretty much anything with you. And that was me. I told you I had a very good job. I had a very, very good job. I was cashing in. I was living in a very posh place. I was doing well. You know, they're the kind of lady who young girls would look at and be like, wow, I want her life. I had everything except God. I'd rather have God and nothing. Now I know. I'd rather have God and nothing. I had everything without God. And that's where the devil caught me. That is to mean I was not praying. Christianity or Jesus was not my business. In fact, he sounded like theory. God was nowhere in my hesabu zangu. So I was godless. I was like a house that has not been fenced. So anything can come in and do whatever. Praise be to God. And that is when I was now soul dominated. This guy, now we start relations here and there. And before I know it, I'm in a relationship. And when I met this guy, sorry to say, but he was not doing well at all financially. I can call him poor. I have the rights to call him poor. That guy had nothing. That guy had nothing. And that's why even in his dressing, how he spoke, Aki, he was nowhere. He was nowhere in the type of men that I would look at and be like, huyo ni mtu. Nowhere. Now, we get into this relationship. He has nothing. And before I know it, I've lost my good job. Before I know it, I have lost my gigs. I used to have writing gigs all over because I'm a writer by profession. I've lost a lot. I'd go to events, I'd get paid, all these things. And you know, once someone comes into your life, you start to let them into everything that you do, including how you make money. Praise be to God. Hey. And that was the beginning of the end. This guy, on the other hand, I told you, I was like up here, he was like down there, financially speaking. So things started to change. So I started, it's like, yeah, it was pretty much like siphoning me. Siphoning ni kama uchukue pipe uweke ndani ya mtu unyonye ile kitu iko ndani yake, you siphon that person. Okay, so that happened. I've lost my job. I've stopped affording my rent. I've stopped affording food. I've stopped affording anything that concerns me, including the least business that, ladies, you take care of yourself. I couldn't take care of anything. And at this point, my parents have started being suspicious. What is happening with this girl? What is happening with our beautiful girl? What has happened to this brilliant girl we gave back to? People around can see something is wrong, but no one can point it out. Why? They're not spiritually woke. My mom was a pastor at that time. And I know as a pastor's kid, you could think, I'm a pastor's kid. My mom's prayers or my father's prayers, they cover me. Let me tell you, it gets to a point where you need to stand for yourself spiritually. Those prayers of being covered, they stop working. That grace breaks, and now you need to stand for yourself. Okay, during this time, I've gotten seriously, deeply into alcoholism because this guy has started earning to money. And now he's looking like he's having something. So, of course, he can finance going out and all that. That money he was getting from siphoning from me, kutoka kuiba star yangu, he would spoil me with booze. He would spoil me with anything I wanted. He'd spoil me with booze. Okay, when I say anything, I only mean booze and substances, not other things. Not that he furnish my house or no. They don't use that money on you like that. Hey, all they have to do is to keep you around. And so this one had to keep a drunkard for me never to wake up from that sleep. He had to keep me drunk. He had to keep me unsober, spiritually and physically. Ndio nisitoke kwa hiyo cage, so that I am captive forever, so that I'm his captive forever, or until the day they choose to bury me. But alikuwa tu ananichekesha. He would call me girlfriend or love or whatever, but anajua ananikula kidogo kidogo. Hey, I was